I'm Chris, and I'm single. I mean,
I'm
he's
Alex, and
we're the Couch Duo.
yeah. You guys may want to stand up for this episode because it's been recently released some new research that sitting for more than 3 hours at a time increases your chance of dying by 50%.
Now we've got this infographic here. The article cites that the human body wasn't made to sit for long periods of time. Is basically the idea that's trying to get across, to tell you to be active, to do different things during your day, to stop your body from getting used to one specific thing.
So if you sit for 3 hours, get up and do 20 minutes of walking around or do a couple of jumping jacks. Get the blood flowing, get yourself moving again. Don't be sitting or standing or pretty much doing anything for...
Or jerking off.
Or definitely, oh my god, that gives you such bad carpal tunnel. But yeah, just keep yourself active and don't sit for too long.
And remember, if it lasts more than 4 hours, see a doctor.
So Florida's in the news again. They were recently in the news about a week ago for finally banning bestiality. Not really going to talk about that one. But anyway, they're in the news because they're going to start drug testing for welfare recipients.
You know, Florida's either always really behind the wheel, hence bestiality banning, or really trying to get ahead of the wheel and doing strange things and kind of testing the new waters. This new bill, the governor of Florida is pushing for welfare recipients to have a mandatory drug test. Now this drug test, I think, is a great idea. I think it's going to thin out the numbers of welfare and it's going to essentially cost the system less in the long run. The article cites that if you are receiving federal money, you have to pay the $35 for the test.
Now the other thing that I feel like this is going to end up doing is it's going to also help in sort of reforming the people who are doing this. You have this sort of reform where if you want to keep getting your money and you want to keep being able to leech off the system, you're going to have to keep yourself on the up and up as far as drugs and controlled substances go.
Basically what we're trying to say, nation, is that America's got kind of a fat belly right now. And we've been sucking it in for years. We've been trying to make that beach body look good. But when it comes down to it, it's time to get on Slim Fast. And it's time to lose those pounds. And unfortunately, the poor and the needy are usually where we start cutting and where we start cutting back funds. Now, obviously, you want to cut away from the rich first. But when you look at the facts, we do spend a lot of money on the poor and the needy. And we know that there are ways to cheat the system. So if we can eliminate those ways and make the system more efficient, I'm all for that. But I'm also the kind of guy that will stand right up against cutting back for the rich, too. So Microsoft is in the news recently because they're buying Skype for $8.5 billion. And it's interesting because Microsoft hasn't really reached out and bought third-party companies like this very often. They tend to stay away from it, and especially $8.5 billion is a hell of a commitment. The big question is why? What is Microsoft going to do with this? First of all, we can be thankful that Sony isn't buying it because this means it will work. And it's
Skype crashed! Oh my god!
Now, of course, since Microsoft is buying it, there's going to be all kinds of bloatware associated with it, but at least it will work most of the time.
You're going to download Skype, and you're going to get Skype Instant Messenger, Skype Search Bar, Skype this, Skype... you'll download Skype, it'll be a 5 gigabyte download, and you'll have to cut out 4 of it.
Bing will somehow be your automatic browser. You'll be stuck with Hotmail as your only mail client on your computer. But at least you'll have Skype, and it'll work.
Now, the major speculations with this story is Microsoft hasn't come out with any official announcements of they're going to be implementing it in their Xbox or anything like that. But what a lot of people are assuming is going to happen is it's going to either be implemented through the Kinect with the Xbox or with the new Windows phones that are coming out. They're going to use it to implement there. And then some other really, off-the-wall kind of ideas that people are throwing around.
Now, generally, when a company buys another company, it's because they like their product. They want to capitalize on that product. But recently, it's because they want to use that technology in their own vision. So my question is, what are you doing, Microsoft? What do you got behind their apps? What are your ideas for Skype? What are you going to do with this?
Last story we've got for you guys today is a pretty interesting story. It's another leap forward for technology, even if it's kind of a weird leap forward. It's a $25 PC, and it looks like a stripped-down USB with a HDMI plug on the back end of it.
When I look at this thing and watch the video, I think of that Mac guy on the Mac commercials, Johnny Ive or Ivy or whatever he is. See, See, folks, what we've done here is we've removed the outer perimeter of the computer. And we've taken all of the structural integrity away from the computer. And what you're left with is a more fundamentally
sound product.
Small and workable product.
Basically what this product is geared towards, all kidding aside, is it's supposed to be a very cheap, basic grassroots style computer, where basically you would plug the HDMI port into an HDMI television or monitor, and then you have a USB on the other side that you would hook up a USB keyboard to. And it's supposed to be accessible for inner city kids, lower privileged kids, basically people that can't afford a normal computer and their school doesn't have enough for every student to be able to use one. And you would plug it into the TV and it would allow you to do simple programming. Basically what they talk about is using it for writing little scripts for on websites, website programming, learning basically the basics of the inner workings of the daily life that we go through in a computer.
Because you see, when you have an outside perimeter and structure, you add size, weight, and you increase the opportunity for stability. And the breakthrough that we had was to put a camera on the front of it, protected by nothing around it, so that you and the camera were one-to-one. All kidding aside, guys, I'm sure, this is a prototype. This is not the final product. I just like to pick on Johnny Ive because, honestly, I'm jealous. I wish I had a European accent like that. So it's great. I always like when the industry gives back to the community like this. Now, guys, the question that we have for you today is, what do you think Microsoft is going to do with Skype? Why are they acquiring this? Nobody really knows. The rumors are all spreading around, but we wanted to know what you guys think. Let us know in the comments below, or video response if you get naked on your video response.
Don't get naked.
Don't get naked.
Anyway, guys, we've made enough jokes and everything like that, drawing this episode out way too long. All kidding aside, there's been some great progression as far as technology and even some progression for the political systems in the past weeks or so. Unfortunately, PlayStation missed the boat on the progression. Don't know where you guys were. Apparently your 8 cores has confused you or whatever. But I'm Alex.
I'm Chris.
Make sure you click the like button, subscribe, check back later. Where'd the couch do?
Where'd the couch go?